We have the BNFT, the Daily Graphic, and some of the other newspapers.
Absolutely, we got the Daily Democrat here as well. But let's start with the Daily Graphic. It says that, which by now you know, E-Levy betting emission taxes scrapped. President assents to the bill, and it's the first one in front of the Daily Graphic as well. And MIF to increase royalty collection. I'll bring you details a bit later. Government as well moves to track excavator imports, and that is also on page 13.
What happened to the tracking devices that we promised years ago? Anyway, continue.
Well, that is also on page 13 of the Daily Graphic. I shall bring you details of that. Let's see what's happening. Well, again, 76 arrested, 100 excavators seized as well. Is at the back page of the Daily Graphic.
And there's another interesting story of swine fever in the north, killing thousands of animals.
And I definitely want to hear Winston's take on this one. Suspected African swine fever outbreak devastates pig farms in Damongo.
Well, let me give you the BNFT. Leverage natural resources, inward remittances for BOG recapitalization. March inflation eases marginally to 22.4%. CSOs push for local content, worker protection and ECG reform talks. And there are other stories also on the front page of the Daily Guide. World Bank slaps government over mass dismissals. Kojo. Mahama scraps E-Levy betting tax. ECG container scandal sparks blame game. An opinion. Galamsey fight Yamutu. And there's a story on Ahmed Swale's killer. Charges amended and denied bail. Now, on that, World Bank slaps government over mass dismissals. The World Bank released a statement yesterday. It's a simple, straightforward statement that says that no projects in the World Bank finance portfolio in Ghana are currently suspended. You know, the story that made rounds yesterday online was that the World Bank has suspended two programs, the Tree Crops Development Project and the Ghana Digital Improvement Project, because staff of some agencies and staff of some of the units that are working on these projects have been sacked. And the press release says that no suspension whatsoever has happened in Ghana.
Great. I think we can do the Ghanaian Times. That says emissions, E-Levies, betting tax scrapped. President assents to 7 other revenue bills. And also on the front page of the Ghanaian Times this morning, it says we need collective effort to fight Galamsey, and that's the deputy lands minister calling on all to help in the fight against illegal mining. Technical committee identifies 3 options for private participation in ECG's operation. And again, it's been back and forth. But now the minister received the report, and they're proposing some 3 ways of dealing with it. They've talked about a concession agreement when it comes to the distribution. Let me just get the others for you so that you would know all the things that the committee presented to the minister. Well, I'll bring that to you.
While you look for that, there's an interesting story that makes me happy. Education Minister endorses science set as key to Ghana's STEM revolution. You know, the last time we spoke to him, we encouraged him to look at local solutions to drive education and the outcomes we are looking for. Local animators, local innovators. Now we are told that he has endorsed a science set that is a product made by Ghana's Dext Solutions. Once we have these, our kids will have their own laboratories in a pack, which will fit in their backpacks for school. I think this is a big deal for me.
Yeah, so these are, the 3 that is settled on. Entity concession. The whole distribution business will be giving out to one entity.
So we are not going to break down distribution. Like at a point, ECG tried to have the Ashanti business unit to run and then possibly create business units.
When there's a multiple lease, the distribution will be divided and given to different operators.
Okay, so that we can have Winston and Sons, MFI and Sons, and Kojo and Sons all buy into that particular space.
Exactly.
Kojo and Son.
Kojo and Sons,
Son.
No, I'm Sons. I have 2.
I have 1.
So Kojo and Sons.
And Kojo and Son.
Winston and Sons is a prophecy, so I take it.
Hallelujah.
Then service franchise, which will deliver service to the homes.
Okay.
So these are the options that are available. Now the minister has looked at them. He's promised to go through, and then they would make a decision on what to do going forward. I mean, I don't know. We've tried this before. We tried PDS. I don't in God's name understand why there should be a challenge with the distribution of power and the collection of revenue. I don't know why there should be a problem. I don't know why ECG would sometimes collect revenue and underdeclare. This is simple. If you want to trace the collections, you can trace them. This one, you don't need rocket science.
But as with everything, the poison is politics.
Yeah.
Yes. So every political party wants to, reward its people by employing them into these organizations where they have neither the ability nor the intention to do a good job. And of course, the opportunity for corruption exists. So opportunity meets motive, and then absolutely nothing gets done right. Everybody is pocketing the money rather than it making its way to the coffers. And the systems that we should put in place to ensure people cannot do that, we'd rather not.
I think that one of the things we've not done so well in this country, so the operational expenditure of ECG, this is where sometimes I think that because of the things that we've become aware of in the past, I tend to lean towards an independent structure. That does not necessarily mean that you want to give it out. We can actually decide, and it should not be difficult for ECG to have one collection account. Even if it has multiple accounts, okay, it shouldn't be difficult to audit those accounts.
Yep.
If ECG is collecting, if you have an entity that collects the money on behalf of ECG, it should not be difficult to know how much ECG collects over a period. I do not in God's name understand why we would have a shortfall of $1 billion monthly when we've distributed this power. It's in this same country that we distributed political meters.
What does that mean?
You didn't hear about
the
political meters.
You don't know the political meters.
This is an actual thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, we distributed political meters. But my point is that if you're ready, and ECG has consistently been, we're going around, we're going to collect money, we're going around, we're going to collect money. I'm not going to go into the conditions of service of ECG employees. I'm not interested in that. Even though if they continue like this, we'd have to be interested in the conditions of service of the employees. But my point is that we can actually do this and do this so well that you would not need anybody to come and collect this for you, because the person who's coming to collect for you would also be paid.
And I know ECG actually has one of the best CMS systems for managing any power. They bought the Indira CMS system some 5, 6, 7 years ago for quite a lot of money, so they should be managing all these things very well. But Winston, if we manage to execute private sector participation in the ECG, what happens to our compact arrangement with the MCC? Is it going to open the doors for us to begin the conversations again to possibly get that 90 or so, or 190 million?
Yeah, maybe.
That the US took back.
Well, around this time, you can't be sure. This is a Donald Trump presidency.
So I have a question, okay? It's one of the the why not questions. What would go wrong if the supply of electricity became a private business, and then every customer could decide which company they want to buy their electricity from, and that company would come and set up this, whatever the meter. Since we've already we've established the infrastructure to actually distribute the electricity, every company comes along, pays government rent to use whichever lines that they are using to supply their customers, and then we choose which electricity company, like how we choose the mobile phone what's it called, providers, mobile network providers. We choose your electricity provider, the one that gives you the best service, the most efficient, the one who fixes your problems quickest, the one who doesn't cause doom. So and then you
Is this
pay
not
them.
nearly the second recommendation? Nearly, just nearly.
Well, we'll wait for the details of the second recommendation. But do we have time? We are 4 minutes into this.
Maybe we'll come back.
We'll
to
discuss
it,
that
right?
later.
There's
All the
actually-
angles.
there's actually a concept of natural monopoly, and why natural monopoly should be held by the states. While it is true that capitalism or competition presents options and may, ultimately inure to the benefit of the consumer, the fear is that when it comes to things that are considered natural, it should be held by the state in the collective interest of all. And one of those is electricity. But we'll come back to it.
I think that's
Well,
that's some socialist thinking right there.
No, it's not socialist thinking.
You should
I
read
mean, this is something that even the advocates of capitalism would agree. That
I
don't know about
you should
that.
read this book by Lomnuku Ahlija, Ghana Energy Law and Policy, focus on electricity. It tells you that this conversation that we're having about private partnership would start from reading that book from 1983 through to 1985, which means that the conversation about private partnership is not even today. And so the question that you are asking today actually even started. Somebody asked that question at the time that the Bretton Woods institution refused to want to give the country funds anymore. It started like about before I was born. And so this question gets very legitimate. And when are we ever going to have an answer to that?
Isn't it a pity that we still don't? Okay. The online review brought to us by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goyle Good Energy. Goyle Yenara Yendia.
No more E-Levy. Effective immediately. GRA orders compliance with tax abolition.
Has anyone tried to send Momo today?
I
Try
did.
to send me Momo.
Try it, let me see.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
I
I
have
will
to send you
try
Momo.
to my
don't
Oh no,
number.
I have tried. I've tried.
You should try with me now. Let's
Oh no,
confirm
no,
live.
no, no! But I have tried it already.
No, I want to confirm with you.
No E-Levy.
No E-Levy.
No.
Kojo, do you believe it?
You sent more than 100 CDs?
I sent 800 cities. I can show it. I can show it to you.
Oh.
I don't need to. I don't need
Experience is
to.
better than
No.
MFA doesn't believe you.
I don't believe you.
Okay, okay, watch this.
No.
No, look at this. No, see,
Photoshop.
Tax is zero. No,
AI,
tax is
AI.
zero. Tax is zero. It's not
AI,
AI.
AI.
This is such a relief.
Yeah, but tax is zero. I don't need to send you.
This abolition of E-Levy is such a relief for me. I don't do cash in any form. So everything I buy, I pay digitally.
And you have been punished. Pa.
I have been, look, when the accountant prepared our financials, I told him that look out for E-Levy charges and let's see how much you are paying in E-Levy. And it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that's why I think this is good news. This is but let's not introduce the new levies we are thinking of introducing. We've been told that we have a lot of resources. We are going to optimize getting money from gold and everything. Let's give Ghanaians this peace of mind for some time before we think of adding more.
Winston, when we come back, you'd explain what it means, effective immediately, and also the statement that GRA released says that there will be refunds if you indeed did a transaction and then you were charged. That refund, how
Yes.
will that?
No, I mean, okay. When we come back, I'll tell you. But I mean, once the bill has been assented to, it becomes law, and once it becomes law, you have no business,
It may actually be
charging-
looking at the process of the
charging
refund.
again. And what GRA indicated was that as part of the process, they had a no charge component. So once you
Apply to
activate
their system.
apply to the system. Once you activate the no charge, you cannot charge it. And so they directed all to actually apply that. What it means is that once you've done that, if anybody sends money, but if also before they issued the release, you had done that, you know how much people sent and who sent what, refund it to that person. As that's simple. Just as the telcos can give you interest for your money, they can also refund money when you seek refunds. So
Yeah.
it's that simple. Anyway,
We'll
let's
learn
get to
more
the
about
BBC
it
news.
later.